Welcome back to the basement. Completed the back cover, and this is what it'll look like when it's dry. But unstained, unfinished, and unsealed. So, still got plenty of work to do on this, but we're really cruising compared to the last one I made, which took me like 60 hours to complete. Mostly because of the little basket weave stamp that I had. Now we're going to be working on inside pocket panels. These are going to be almost exclusively stamped, except the border. And because they're going to be exclusively stamped, this should go by a lot faster. I'm praying that it does. But if you're new here, I am the convicted Christian. I am 9 years clean and sober in exactly 1 month from today, which is July 28th. August 28th, I will be officially 9 years clean and sober. I did almost 10 years in prison for various crimes, but now I am free and off parole. All thanks for the love of God for me. At least that's what I believe in. If you're a returning viewer, you know that we like to start with the word before moving on to the hobby stuff. Today we are in Psalm 3:3. How many say of me, there is no salvation for him in God? Now, this is David, King David. He's still King David. Now, he is fleeing from Absalom, who's his son, who wants to take over. But even with this in context of David fleeing and him just crying out to God about how many are against him, thinking that he had done a good job as king, and he had been serving his people properly, and he had been giving his all to these people. And there were so many people willing to rise up with Absalom and stage a rebellion and ultimately a coup and take his throne from him. But this also can apply to anyone that has had a very sordid past like I did. If you were known for fighting, if you know that you hurt a lot of people, or you hurt a few people but very badly, if you know that no one believes in you, no one wants to come to your rescue, no one wants to help you, David felt like that. David felt like that. And he even thought, the great King David, yes, he sinned. He was punished for that sin. But it doesn't change the fact that this is still the David that took down Goliath. This is still the David that fought the lion and the bear. And people were still saying there is no salvation for him in God. Haven't you ever felt like that? I know I have. I know that I felt unworthy, not only for salvation, but I was unworthy of the love of God. I was unworthy of the love of Christ. I was just plain unworthy to be in his presence in any way. And I'm sure that there actually were people in my life, people that said, there's nothing good about this person. There's nothing good about Andrew. And there's nothing he could possibly do or say to save himself. And so, what I would do is I would try to prove myself to people. And I would do things that I thought that they saw as Christian or godly or what a believer would do, instead of doing the right thing, which is following God and actually believing in Him, not for my sake, not for their sake, but because that's what we're called to. I was trying to use faith as fire insurance instead of what it really is, not worrying about the fire at all. And so, if you think that you are too far gone because everyone around you says you are, they don't have the power to save you. None of them do. Neither do you. Only God has that power. And only He will do it when you surrender to Him. So, forget what the naysayers say. Forget all that background noise. Only worry about yourself when it comes to your salvation, your relationship with God. Because ultimately, only you can surrender yourself to Him. He can't surrender you to Him. They can't surrender you to Him. Of all the things that God does for us, this is one of the things He lets us take care of. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So, that is the word for today. Now, what are we on to? Okay, I'm going to have to get this even more wet than I usually do, so I'm going to get off of here, do that, and you'll come back, and I'll be stamping some stuff. Probably doing the border so that I can see where my stamps are going to land. But once I got that all figured out, I'll bring you back in, and away we go. You know, I think about the times that I got out of prison, and I thought of all the people that were against me and never thought that I could actually make it and be a contributing member to society. And they were right. It took a total of 5 prison terms for me to finally figure it out. And they were right to be against me. But once I figured it out, once I surrendered to God, and once I started actually following His word and what He had promised for me, they weren't right anymore. And now I have a whole lot less people against me. And so can you. Well, they are done. And magically, through the magic of editing and taking time to make these videos, they also got dyed. But this is ultimately the next stage of the process. Now, could I have tooled those? Sure. I could have tooled these and made them look really, really nice. And I apologize, I did not show you guys whenever I stamped the letters, but that was my mistake. So, this is what it looks like. Psalm 100 and 1 Corinthians 13:13. But that's the color I'm going to choose. I think that's going to look really nice with another technique I'm going to use, which is called antiquing. And hopefully I get that one on video. This has been an absolute blast, and if you want to see what that looks like with color, ooh boy. And it does seem like it's a lot darker down the middle. The only reason why is because there's a lot of detail right down the middle. Once I get the antiquing on this, it should help even out some of this. We will see. A lot of times I just roll with the punches and it turns out okay. So we're going to roll with these punches and see if it turns out okay. I know I've said it time and time again. This has been a lot of fun. I can't say how much this has been enjoyable to me. And because of that, we are going to... Sorry, checking stuff. We are going to end this video where it is. I hope that you got something from this video, and I hope that it spoke to you either through the hobby craft or through the word or through my experiences. These are times when it seems like loyalty is at its lowest and the world is against us. And it's not. It may feel like that, but it's not. There are so many people that are going through or have been through the same thing that we've been through, you've been through, your friends have been through. And even if you may not have the same experience or have felt the same feelings, doesn't mean you can't be there for them and be one less person that they feel is against them. You don't have to agree with their choices. You don't have to agree with their lifestyle. You don't have to agree with what they're doing. Just letting them know that you're there and you're behind them, that could be all that they're really looking for. And that could be all that they really need. Is that one person that may not be a friend, may not be a close friend, but also isn't an enemy. Isn't someone that they have to fear is talking behind their back or plotting against them in a different way. And you could be that person for them. But we will never know that unless we actually reach out and actually make the attempt. So I implore you, reach out for either help or to help. And you'll see that not everyone's against you. Not everyone wants to see you fail and fall. Because I know I don't. I don't know your situation. We may not agree politically. We may not agree with the same theology or ideology. We may not agree. But that doesn't mean I want to see you fail. It doesn't mean I want to see you fall. We're all human. And if we can find that human compassion again, we can start loving each other the way God intended us to love each other. So if no one has told you today, you are loved. And we do care about you. If you liked this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up button. Please consider subscribing, being a part of this quote-unquote journey. And if you have any questions or comments, shoot them out there. Nothing's too dumb. Nothing's too smart. I will do the best to explain any questions, and I will try to answer every comment. I just hope to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. And always remember, if we're going to change the world, we have to stop caring about what others think about us when they're against us, if we're going to change ourselves. Have a good night, guys.